Welcome to the 6th edition of Marex Maritime News Bulletin. These are the headlines for Monday, 23rd March 2020. Is shipping under Indian tricolour in fatal decline? Prominent players respond. We hear more on women seafarers' woes. And how is the industry responding to the corona crisis? And now the news in detail. A recent report has stressed that shipping plays a pivotal role in India's trade dynamics. It said, as on 31st January 2019, India had a fleet strength of 1,405 ships. But Indian trade carried out by Indian bottoms has continued its downward trajectory for decades now and stands at a miserly 6.4%, down from a peak of 40% in the late 1980s. With several Indian carriers closing or slowing down in the recent years and the Indian fleet aging away, is the tricolour now in fatal decline? And what should be done to revive Indian shipping? Here's what some industry experts had to offer. Captain Sudhir Subedar, speaking from an independent standpoint in his usual terse manner.
I think Indian shipping has been in decline for more than 20 years. I think there is need to reverse the trend because there is need for a lot more Indian shipping because Indian economy is growing faster and faster. I think there is need to deregulate Indian shipping just like IT was deregulated from its inception in 1990.
Indian shipping is definitely on a decline. Government of India should try and make Indian shipping more competitive. Operating an Indian flag vessel is 25% more expensive than operating a foreign flag vessel. 100% foreign direct investment was permitted in Indian shipping for more than 20 years, but there has been no major investment. We need specialized funding for Indian shipping at low cost post due diligence exercise. The cost of borrowing for acquiring an Indian ship is at least 8 to 9% compared to foreign companies. We need to get rid of tax policies like GST in case of import cargo transportation services, which is applicable only to Indian shipping companies registered in India and gives an unfair advantage to foreign companies not registered in India. The 5% IGST, which is levied on acquisition of vessels in India, which is substantial considering the value of the vessel, is a big burden. We need single window clearance. The local shipping companies with Indian flag vessels must get the right to match the offer made by the lowest foreign flagship in tenders issued by state-run firms like PSUs for hiring ships under the chartering guidelines of the Directorate General. There must definitely be some cargo preference for Indian flag vessels. The share of coastal shipping in the overall cargo movement is very low. This is largely attributed to unfavorable policies and poor infrastructure. Due to poor infrastructure, we find the turnaround time in ports in India is very low. We have to bring it up. We should promote ship repair facilities at every port, permit import of spares for our ships at zero duty. The government shipbuilding policy is good under the Make in India policy, but the shipyards need to be more aggressive to market them to foreign owners as well as cater favorably to the Indian ship owners. We must ensure crew change is facilitated at every Indian port, anchorages and SBMs without undue hindrance of the various agencies, which is today the issue. Importantly, we must strive to produce excellent quality seafarers and simplify the tardy, time-consuming maritime education and training process. If these few measures are adapted, I am sure we can see a turnaround and good days for Indian shipping ahead.
The growth of women seafarers may have received a lot of positive press of late, but their numbers still remain minuscule indeed, less than 1% by some accounts. It sure remains an uphill task to make a place for themselves in one of the most male-dominated professions. Some women have fought their way through to success while others still await better times. Here are some of the woes that women continue to face.
Top 3 woes of women seafarers. First one, according to me, is definitely generalization. It's time we start treating women as individuals who are responsible for the consequences of what they're doing and not blame the entire womanhood for it. The second is obviously the mindset and the amount of resistance with which we are welcomed on board. Because one, it puts a lot of pressure on the seafarer, and two, it makes her vulnerable. Third is, of course, bracing up our own self-preparedness. With more and more women seafarers coming up, if we are confident, we give more output and we are mentally sound, I think these problems will eventually fade out.
The first one would be a lack of employers who welcome women seafarers with open arms. And even if there were employers who do take in women on the basis of merit, of course, most of them or many of them lack policies and guidelines for the women workforce they have. The number 2 woe would be women lack acceptance in their workplace. The male colleagues more often than not do not accept women as part of the team, or the women are yearning for being taken seriously. There is 2 types of people, where one would be very welcoming and the other majority is not taking us seriously or not allowing us to be in roles where we make decisions. So that's woe number 2. And the third woe would be lack of knowledge among women seafarers when they are young and they don't know where to seek mentorship from. There are so many mentors right now and we are helping other women, but then the newbies, the new women who are entering the field, the fraternity, have a lack of knowledge as to whom to seek for help, for advice, for what, how and when to do what. So there are different groups and organizations right now for women seafarers to seek help, and we wish that all women seafarers around the world would approach us and seek help and benefit from the associations and networking. Thank you so much.
More ship managers are keeping crew on board their vessels during the COVID-19 outbreak as further repatriation chaos emerges across the globe. All Indian maritime training centers have been ordered a complete shutdown until further orders. And families of the sailors are worried sick about their near and dear ones. Here are voices of concern over the corona menace that appears to have left none unaffected.
We are facing a very unprecedented situation today. The global coronavirus pandemic is affecting all our families, our businesses, our communities, and our way of life. During this time, all of us at MMSI would like to thank all our seafarers for their selfless contribution towards ensuring a safe, smooth, and a pollution-free operation of the fleet vessels. Having said that, we thoroughly understand that quite a few of them have completed their onboard tenure and are eagerly looking forward to their relief. We completely understand that and would like to once again assure them that we have been trying our very best to make that happen in the most effective manner. We thank them as well as their families for their patience and understanding in the given situation. The latest ban on the landing of international commercial flights in India for the next 1 week leaves us with minimal options, since the repatriated seafarers would then have a high risk of getting stuck at some or the other transit airport. There is a global disruption, including a complete lockdown in many countries, and travel facilities are significantly impaired because of several flights having been discontinued until further notice. This makes effecting on-time reliefs as impossible, primarily due to a complete lockdown in several parts of the world and disrupting the standard travel facilities. The entire maritime industry is reeling under its impact as the priority worldwide is on controlling the spread of the virus, which has already played havoc in many countries and continues to do so. At our end, we have been in close touch with global maritime organizations as well as the National Maritime Administration and understand that they're doing everything possible to support the entire maritime industry by ensuring that all seafarers continue to be safe from the virus as well as the associated complications which may occur. All staff at MMSI have been working to the maximum possible extent to connect all reliefs amidst the scenario of ever-changing requirements and limited travel connectivity. Overbooked international travel flights wherever available, in the complete suspension or a prolonged delay in the issuance of several visas, a non-availability of training facilities, etc., etc., and the entire country being on the verge of a complete standstill necessitate the plans to be changed very often. Amidst these challenging times, we solicit their complete understanding and cooperation and ensuring that we overcome the present demands jointly and successfully. We are available for any assistance and support which may be needed at their end, and we would encourage them to contact us at any time as may be required.
As per the DG shipping, the maritime institutes are closed down from 16th of this month, and all over India, the post-sea and pre-sea institutes are now suspended their courses. However, by God's grace, we have taken proactive steps in meeting the challenges. We have given the privilege of all the faculty to work from home, and I'm glad to state that over 75% of our faculty and instructors have been working tirelessly, preparing themselves to deliver effective online classes. We have commenced the lectures online for our pre-sea cadets and the competency students as well. Though there are some minor problems being faced by few students who have poor connectivity, and overall the candidates are happy that they are not missing the curriculum. We are now geared up to share online classes with the general public by offering free classes to students around the globe right from 23rd March 2020. We would have a separate section of a nautical and the engineering section where our faculty who are renowned and are going to just deliver classes to the students who want to attend around the globe.
We have been issued directives to shut down the institute as per DG shipping orders. We have shut down our training programs, but it is creating a lot of problems in the way that we don't know what is going to happen in the future to our students. We have a syllabus to complete and issue certificates at the end of the course. Now, these are long-term courses which have a lot of commitment from the students as well as the faculty and must be delivered on time. Otherwise, the young boys and girls lose their future. We do not have any directives as yet as to what the government has in mind for the portion which cannot be completed of training. This is our main concern at the moment, and we hope that this will be addressed in the subsequent reviews of the shutdown of the maritime training institutes all over the country.
There is a complete shutdown, and definitely there is not going to be any fees collection with respect to the courses, but it is for the betterment of the Indian citizens that we must cooperate and do our best as far as the maritime training is concerned, to obey the DG shipping orders and wait and watch and see what happens in the future. Thank you.
And now the markets. The Baltic Dry Index continues to languish in the doldrums, sliding 3 points to 630. But the tanker markets remain upbeat, with an average VLCC earnings remaining above the $200,000 mark attained at the start of the last week. To close the news, here is an interesting shipping note from the Indian maritime history. Ancient Indian cartography locates the pole star and other constellations used in the navigational charts at the beginning of 20 BCE. Highly detailed maps of considerable lengths describing the locations of settlements, shores, rivers and mountains were also made at that time. Thank you for watching. Have a nice week. See you all next Monday.